Hello there. I was reviewing some notes that I took from an event with Joel Bauer a while back, and a question that he asked struck me. And for some reason during the event, I think there was just so much going on that I kind of overlooked this. But then when I looked at it again, it this is a very profound question, and I wanted to ask you this question. The question is, what is the ultimate life-changing result you provide to your clients? So, when you're at a networking event and you're asked to introduce yourself or you're talking to people, and you probably have this little elevator speech um, memorized that you say all the time, and what do you do for a living, right? That's the standard networking question. But if you were to answer this question, what is the ultimate life-changing result you provide to your clients? I believe that your response would be a lot different. So for me, the ultimate result that I'm getting clients is I am keeping people from going out of business by adapting to new business models. Because in my experience, I have seen people go out of business almost as a direct result to not adapting quick enough. And a lot of this ties to uh, understanding tech. And a good example of this would be two restaurants on the same street in the same town during COVID. One goes out of business, and the other one gets more business than they ever had before. Now, the difference is how did they handle the COVID shutdown? One of them um, decided to only do takeout. You can only call in, place an order, and then go in and grab your food and take it to go, right? But part of the experience of the restaurant is that you're going out somewhere. You're not just sitting at home eating. Otherwise, you could just go to the store and grab something, right? So the person that did the takeout only, they kind of floundered for a little while, and maybe they cut corners, and maybe the food quality wasn't as good anymore, and then they decided to stop paying for marketing, and they kind of just went into this death spiral. And you can almost predict this is going to happen because you can see certain telltale signs, right? Okay, so now the other restaurant, they thrived during this time, and that's because they changed quickly to adapt to the situation at hand. They didn't just hunker down and wait it out and hope for the best. They were proactive and innovative. And what did they do? They set up an outdoor area to eat. So now you're maybe it's the parking lot, but they have outdoor dining area that people can actually go to, sit down, experience, right? And they set up texting to their fan base, right? They're sending out coupons. They're sending out birthday gifts. They're they're being innovative. They're doing new marketing that they've never done before. Maybe they've adapted to more online strategies so that they can reach a larger portion of the city other than just their local neighborhood. So all of these little tiny things add up to the fact that one went out of business and one thrived. And you can kind of take this into pretty much any industry, and the concept is the same. Another good example of this is Blockbuster versus Netflix. Blockbuster, well, they used to be almost as common as Starbucks is these days. You'd see one on every street corner, and they were the big company that kind of monopolized movie rentals. And this little tiny company called Netflix came out, and instead of you having to go and pick up the movie, they would send it to your doorstep. And even I was thinking, well, this company is going to go out of business because these, your DVDs come in this little flimsy package that, half of the time the DVD's got to be breaking in the mail, just being damaged during transit. So I thought, wow, this company's really, this company is missing the mark. But to all of our surprise, they overtook Blockbuster and Blockbuster went out of business. So the moral of the story is big companies are not immune to going out of business. They're not immune to circumstances out of their control that, basically push them out of the market. So, because I witnessed this in the companies that I was working with, um, you know, a business to business relationship that I had with a lot of these companies, I saw them going out of business. And then I myself was laid off from a 18-year long career because during the COVID shutdown, there was just utter turmoil. I mean, you obviously, if you've lived through it, you know what I'm talking about. So um, these were just circumstances that we couldn't have foreseen. And I wanted to help business owners from going out of business and suffering through that experience. And I realized that a large part of it is the tech. And I realized that during those 18 years, I was neck deep in the tech. So it was easy for me to do these things that these business owners were struggling with. And I also realized that a business owner understanding tech and being able to adapt to it is different from that business owner's savvy and competency as a business owner. So that's why I wanted to bridge that gap so that as people go from an in-person brick and mortar model to an online, e-commerce model, that they could bridge that gap and they could be the ones thriving and on top at the end of it all. And that was my motivation when I started my company. So I don't know if this has helped you at all, but I wanted to give you a little bit of insight. I really loved this question. I would love to have you go through the process of answering this question for yourself. And I'll ask it one more time. What is the ultimate life-changing result you provide to your clients? Because people, believe it or not, they want transformation. And I know this sounds like a contradiction because for the most part, people are resistant to change. And yet, if somebody is struggling, they feel stuck, they feel overwhelmed, they are in a dire situation, that transformation is going to get them out of it. And I think that maybe subconsciously they know that, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a transformative experience with you. So, what is your transformative experience? And how can you relate that to people? So, think about that when you're doing your marketing and your messaging to make it clear the true value of what service you're providing to your clients. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.